Hello YouTube, it's Championdjk coming at you again with another 10 Car Tuesday episode. And today we're going to take a look at some pretty cool Greenlight cars. So as usual, we got 10 vehicles to look at. I didn't do any research on any of these or anything like that, so we're just going to open these up and talk about them. It'll take a while because they're all 10 of these are different castings. There's none of them are duplicates. So we're going to start with this one right here. This is the custom 1968 Dodge Charger RT. Really cool casting. This is from the Muscle Car Garage stock and custom Muscle Car Garage series. Let's see if we can find a number on the back. MCG Series 6. Bunch of cars in that series. Very, very, very cool. Copyright date on this one is 2008. This is an older Greenlight. It does have a green rivet. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the Muscle Car Garage series. I'm not sure if this is actually like sun faded like this. The packaging obviously is quite yellow, which is all right because we're hoping the car is in good shape. And I got this super cheap when I originally got it, so because of the packaging. All right, so just taking a look at the paint a little bit. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't see any major issues. Let's see if we can zoom in just a little bit on the car. Adjust the camera just slightly. All right, so this casting, what's the tooling number? So there's a number 4,881. So they made quite a few of that series. I'm guessing probably at least 5,000. And this is tooling number 30 is what it appears. Didn't think it was that late in the tooling number, but maybe it is. All right, so let's take a look here. It's got an opening hood, little motor detail in there. I think this thing looks pretty awesome. That's a cool looking Charger. The argument with the older Greenlights is always that they have these big, fat steamroller tires. You know, I guess the more that I've got some of these cars in my collection, I don't mind that because you really hardly would ever notice it unless you're looking at the car straight on like this, where you can see how wide those tires are, or straight from the back. If you're looking at it or taking pictures of it and you're doing it from the side like this or from basically any other angle, you'll never notice that. So I think that's a pretty awesome look for this vehicle. And I don't know. I like it. I like it quite a bit. Let me know what you guys think. All right, this next one's no slouch either. This next one is also from Muscle Car Garage. It is the 1968 Custom Buick GS 400. It is from Muscle Car Garage Series 9. The title of this series was Street and Strip. So, pretty cool. This one also has a painted green rivet. This is from when Greenlight cars were quite a bit, I think, more limited than they are today. Ooh, this one's really stuck in this packaging here. Like, really stuck. Which kind of makes me nervous. Alright, we got it out. Ooh, and it doesn't look like there's any issues with it. Awesome. Strip streaker. That's really cool. Nice drag wheels on this thing. Little pizza cutters in front. Big fat meats in the back. Low number 229 on this one. I'm not sure what this series was limited to, but if you check out, and this is tooling number 33, if you check out ZA3 Collectibles, I think is what it is, just Google that, you'll find it. That is the pretty decent Greenlight database. They're slow to update it with new stuff. But these older series, they probably will have the actual production numbers of them, of how many were made, and you can kind of take a look at that. This is a great looking piece, though. Greenlight hasn't really done anything like drag racing cars in a while, besides the like hobby exclusive stuff, the Midnight Drags, that Mustang. But really hasn't done anything like this in quite some time, and I think this is awesome. So very, very cool. Now this is back in the day too. These older toolings, you'll notice, don't have any lensed details for headlights or taillights, which is something that Greenlight adopted, I think, in later castings mostly. But they're very cleanly done. There's no like extra pieces. They're constructed much more closer to an auto world as far as the way that they are constructed. And they look, the older Greenlight stuff just seems to be, I don't know, to me, very cool. And this is no exception. So we're at 5 minutes already. We only looked at 2 cars. But I got the best ones pretty much up front. We are going to open up a green machine, though, in a little bit. So stay tuned. All right, so this one is a 1968 Ford Mustang. This is in the Road Racers series, Series 2. I think there only was 2 series of this Road Racers series. These came out in 2013, I believe. And it's too bad. I would have liked to have gotten probably the whole series when it came out. And again, you got the drag racing tires on this one. Nice metallic blue paint. No green rivet on this one. It's not old enough. This one is from 1413. Or 1413 is the number on this one. The tooling number is 25C. C means it's a variation, I believe, of the tooling. So the tooling originally came out in 2007. That's a cool looking Greenlight for sure. I do wish they would do something like this series again, like do some more like drag racing cars, some more like aftermarket looking cars, because when they did do it, I think they did a very good job of it, and I think these things would definitely sell very well today. So very, very cool. Next, we're going to take a look at the 2012 Chevy COPO Camaro. Camaro COPO limited edition. This might have been like a hobby exclusive. Copyright date is 2014. So I'm not really sure. We're going to go ahead and open it. Very low number on this one, number 132. So if you're into numbers, that's a low one. Looks like the wheel is having some issue here in the back. We'll go ahead and fix that real quick. Decent looking casting. I always thought this one looked a little bit cartoony and out of proportion, especially with the huge wheels on both the front and the back. I don't know. It does look a little bit goofy. Opening hood. Some decent detail under there. You do get some inserted details for the headlights. Painted details for the taillights. This thing, easy to find a tooling number on. This is an older tooling, though, too. It's tooling number 11. So this is one of the few, I think, that had lens details for, or an inserted detail for headlights back in the day, because not all the older castings did. And maybe not all the newer castings do either. I don't know what makes them decide whether or not they're going to do it one way or the other, but Greenlight's got a mix. Definitely a mix of tooling quality. So, that's all right. It's an example of this casting. I needed to check the casting off the list, and that's the way I collect Greenlight. I just try to get basically one of each tooling. And if there's a major variation in the tooling, like there's a convertible or a hardtop, like for instance in this, the next one that we're going to look at, I try to get both versions. So this one is a convertible, 2012 Corvette Convertible. I don't think I've got the hardtop version of this. This is also an older tooling, I think, from a Corvette series. The series is from 2016. Let's take a look at the tooling. So this one does not have an opening hood. Number 2867. I'm looking for a tooling number. The tooling number is tooling number 1. So it's the first tooling that they did was this Corvette. Excuse me. All right, so the first tooling that they did was this Corvette. This one is available, I believe, in a hardtop as well. I don't think I have the hardtop version. I think I just have an example of this. So again, I guess prime example, the copyright date is 2005 on this one. And they were using inserted detail for the headlights on this, painted detail on the rear, taillights. Nice details on this car. Nice stock look to the vehicle. Kind of this I don't know, somewhat ugly color orange. And I think it looks okay. So there is, let's see, we've looked at 5 cars now. And let's see what's next. Another Corvette. And this is a 1962 Corvette. This packaging is roached. From the Corvette collection, from copyright date 2008. And there it is. I believe this one is also available. It's got to be available on a convertible. A lot of times when the casting, well, most of the time when the casting is going to be available in either convertible or hardtop, the hardtop is always plastic. This is an older one, definitely a low number on this, 92 on this one. Green rivet, this is tooling number 17. So that's pretty cool, it's under 100 for the amount of pieces. And before this one was made, opening hood detail with the motor right there. Nice detailed tires and rims. Nice detailed front with painted details for headlights. And we also get painted details on the tail. Not a bad casting. It definitely looks better out of that super yellowed packaging that it was in. Nice kind of seafoam green color. Actually doesn't look too bad now that I got it out. Wasn't super excited about it, just really got it to check it off the list. But I do get excited when I find older Greenlight cars. I've seen with the green rivet and they're cheap. I mean, I don't know, I like to pick them up. They're old, you know. I mean, they're getting up there in age now, especially like, you know, stuff that's like 10 years old. You know, it's, I don't know if it's going to be very collectible later on. It might be, but this is back when Greenlight was, you know, a lot more limited than it is today. A lot of times they run like now up into 10,000 pieces per car, which is relatively limited when you think about, you know, this compared to Hot Wheels and stuff. But and then like the Hollywood series, I think they run up in 20,000, you know. But back in the day, these were like 5,000, you know, roughly half. You know, and some of the times the Black Bandit series were actually really limited, 2,000, 3,000, something like that. So that's why it's kind of neat to find the older Greenlight. And usually I get really good deals on it because I find them in just like garbage packaging. This one, 2015 Jeep Wrangler, I just got it to go ahead and check off my list. This one is copyright date 2017, so it's fairly newer. It was a hobby dealer exclusive, I believe. It's a newer tooling. Just didn't have an example of it, so I decided to pick this up at a car show. Actually, they had a pool full of some hobby dealer Greenlights they were just trying to blow out. So this was $2 for this car. So at $2, I'm like, well, can't go wrong. Let's pick it up. All right, so we took the rubber band off, which a rubber band can only mean one thing. That it has a removable part, and of course there it is. So that is a cool feature to this Jeep. Number 1257. Tooling number is 82. Is what it appears to be on the bottom there. So newer tooling. So far the newest tooling that we've looked at. I believe, does the hood open on this one? Maybe it doesn't. It appears that it would, sort of, because they put a nice like cut in here almost, but it does not open up. But it does have lens details for headlights. I can't tell. Are those inserted? No, those are just painted. They're just sculpted detail, and they're very good. It's a really good looking, nice little Jeep though. Bumper's a separate piece. A lot more little separate pieces to this casting, which some of the newer Greenlights, you are going to get that. You're going to get more separate pieces. More often it will have the lens detail for the headlights. And unfortunately with that though, and the more separate pieces is the more often you're going to have quality control issues. When I pick out Greenlight cars when I'm buying them secondhand. If I can see them in person and stuff like that, I really, really, really give the cars a look over to try to find one that's not going to have issues. You're not always going to be able to prevent getting one with issues because it just may not be visible until you take it out of the package. For one, it's like hard to tell if the stance is going to be leaning one way or leaning another, or there's some things that are tougher to tell when it's in the package. Once you get it out, they definitely appear before you, but I definitely at least try to get good ones. And this is definitely a good one. I don't see any flaws with that. So, and I know they had more of these for $2, and I only picked up one. I probably should have picked up more just to have, I don't know, might be cool to do a custom or do a weathered version of this Jeep or something like that down the road. We got like a little hair here. Not sure. That definitely doesn't belong to me. All right, so there it is. The Jeep. Kind of a nice one. All right, so the last three are going to be Volkswagens. We've got 1974 Volkswagen Type 2 bus. This was in Club VW Series 2. That came out in 2015 or 16. I was really excited when Club VW series came out initially because, you know, this van tooling is really, really cool. And but nowadays they've come up with so many of these series, it's just ridiculous. As far as 1/64 scale diecast goes, though, I would have to say, and I do have, like, for VW buses, I've got a Kyosho now. I've got like a bunch of other brands. Save for the T3 by Schuco, I think this is probably the best Volkswagen bus tooling that there is out there in 1/64 scale. Just my opinion. Let's see here. Number 1355. The tooling number on this is, I think it's in like the 83. Yep. It's nice tooling. It's got metal body, metal base. There's a bunch of different variations of different little roof racks and all sorts of things that they can put on it. It has lens detail for headlights. I can do actually probably a whole 10 Car Tuesday episode dedicated to this bus casting, or the VW bus casting, because I have got a lot more that I have yet to open. But I'm just kind of debating for one thing is just, am I going to keep them all? Because I have so many of them. I think I'm going to open them all anyway, even if I decide not to keep them, and then eventually start to kind of, you know, parse them out and try to get rid of a few. I think I will still open them all on camera just to do it, because I'll be able to get rid of them still for loose. I know that and I'll probably get about the same amount, maybe $1 less for having them loose as opposed to carded. And they're not going to be worth much anyway, because they made a ton of these. When it's got at least that many digits, it's going to be like in maybe the 7,500-ish for this one. Or sorry, it's got, it's going to be in the 10,000s, above the 10,000. You got a 5-digit number there. All right, so there is that one. And then second to last, we've got this Volkswagen panel van, which is an interesting tooling from Greenlight. This was a hobby exclusive UPS livery. I tried to stop buying these panel vans, but when they come up with one that's got an interesting livery, and this one was UPS, I just thought it was kind of interesting, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. So this casting is much different. It's older than the other one, the tooling itself. First of all, just looking at this version, so we got painted headlights, painted detail in the back. It's always had painted detail. It originally also had a plastic base, not a metal base. It got the metal base much later. They still kept like the same, like it's tooling number 66, which would kind of line up with when it came out as a Motor World casting, because this casting is actually originally a high-speed casting that was used by Greenlight in the Motor World series, and then they since tooled a metal base for it. So there's not that many metal-based versions of it. in comparison to the plastic-based versions of it, there are a ton of plastic-based versions of this casting. And I think I actually did a video on the entire collection of mine that I have of this panel casting. So if you look back or you search for it, you can probably find it. If you look up Volkswagen panel van and probably Championdjk, you probably will find the video of my entire collection of these, except for this one. So I don't know. It's kind of cool. It feels like these are smaller than 1/64 scale. I don't know how accurately scaled they are, but there's a look at the panel van. Still kind of cool. All right. Lastly, this is one I just got recently. This is a 1966 Volkswagen Type 3. This is the green machine of this. This was given to me by Andrew Jaremko. Thank you very much, bud. I'm still working on a little project for you, so we're going to go ahead and open this one up. It is a green machine, a green body green machine at that, which green machine, as far as green machines go, I really try to, if there's any green machine that I like, it's going to be probably a green body machine. A green body green machine. I love the color, the emerald color green that they put on this, and it just looks way cooler, I think, when they do the body instead of the base and the wheels. This one's also got the base. 133 is the number. Tooling number is GL 122. A little dirty on the top there. So as far as tooling numbers go, I can tell you that the earlier the number, the older the casting is generally. But when you get up here in like the 130s and stuff, it kind of jumps around a little bit. And I think it's because it might have been when they acquired the license and maybe started the project to try to make the casting, and they assigned the tooling number then, and then it's not based on when it releases. So there could be, and I don't have a really good example to actually tell you, but it would be kind of cool if this green machine had a tooling number, the 122, that actually matched the number on the casting. That'd be kind of neat. I wonder if I have any Greenlights that are like that, low enough number. But yeah, that's a cool green machine. So green machines are 2% of the production run. It's hard to tell you how many there are, though, because they don't publish their production numbers right off the bat. And there's a good reason why they don't do that, because as far as I know, Greenlight will produce a series as long as they keep selling. So if the series is doing really well and they're still getting orders for the series from like hobby dealers and whatever, if it's still doing well and they need to, they'll produce a second run of them. Okay? So they'll just continue the number from wherever they left off and produce more. They'll produce more to once they gauge demand. So, and I think they might do that based on some pre-order data. You know, who knows what else they use to exactly do it. But I know that they will continuously produce the series if it is selling well. The other thing interesting about Greenlight and why they make more Greenlight than they would possibly maybe Auto World, for example, is because they are also available in a lot more countries, as far as I know. I know they're available in Canada for sure. They're sold at Canadian Walmarts. At least I believe they still are. So just that, opening it up to that alone is going to make the production number rise. So it is what it is. All right. So anyway, older Greenlight, a little bit more rare than newer Greenlight, but still. And you can tell, you know, over the years that they've made changes to the way that they do things. Again, this one has a plastic bumper. It's got lens details for headlights. When back in the day, you know, that used to be just, this is an all-metal casting. There was no plastic extra pieces. It's all molded in here. And they generally followed a different format. But not always, of course, because there's the first casting here, which has the lens detail in the front. But yeah, so Greenlight's an interesting one. I really like Greenlight. It's one of my favorite brands to collect. It's not my favorite brand to collect, and they are very hit or miss on some toolings as well. But they have such a wide range of stuff And I don't know, they're just cool. So I recommend them. So as far as my favorite car of the episode, because we usually pick a favorite car, this actually might be it right here. This thing is really cool. Second place would probably be this guy. If we did third, it'd probably be that one. So definitely those three up front. Green Machine's pretty cool though, and then the rest of these, I mean, they're all pretty cool. This Jeep is actually a fantastic casting now that I've got it. I'm not a huge Jeep guy, but that's a really good quality. I'd like to get just a stock paint job one, so I probably will eventually get one. Do a really good job with that. So, all right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. We stretched out a really long 10-car Tuesday. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.